Hey everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Freedom Support Call number 33. I'm coming with your headphones. Hi, PK. No, I was getting there.
Can you hear me?
Hi, yep. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Hey.
How's everyone doing?
Can you hear me?
Doing good.
No.
Of course.
No.
Oh, good. No, it says my connection is unstable, so I'm asking if you can hear me.
Nope, we can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Brandon's in a joking mood.
I know he is.
Oh,
I figured that. Hi, Brandon.
What's that, PK?
I had trouble getting on.
Did you?
I've been trying for about the last 8 minutes.
What did it do? What did it tell you?
It just launched and it sort of launched, and then just the little icon kept going round and round and round and round and wouldn't progress.
Was it
That's
just
what
because
mine did.
Probably because I just wasn't connected yet, right? Is that what it is?
I don't think so. I forget what it said. It seemed like everything was going through as normal, but it just would not move forward.
Because it doesn't let everyone
that's what
connected to
Brian
where I'm connected. So I wonder if that was why.
I'm connected.
You're connected. No, I can't hear you either. Hi, Justin.
Hey, you can't hear me? Okay.
No.
hey guys. I'm going to go ahead and mute because I'm cooking and you're going to hear beeping and cooking noises
Okay.
and stuff.
I just have a question about the launching of the Zoom.
I'll be back in
'Cause
20 minutes.
whenever I...
Wait. What I heard was I have a question about the watching of the zoo. Is that
Launching of the Zoom.
Yeah, I was watching
Okay.
it. I was at a zoo today.
Oh my
Oh
god.
That's
my
what I heard.
God.
Kidding me?
Brandon. you're getting
Don't I could
delusional.
hear you.
Yeah.
He's just not paying attention.
That was a good one.
I heard.
I heard. I have a question about the watching of the zoo. I'm like, am I missing?
Well,
Is that a
actually,
movie
I
or
was
something?
I was saying that. Yeah.
All right, launching
No.
of the Zoom.
What PK said about where it says when I launch it, I have the latest update now, and it says launching, and then it just
Right.
keeps saying launching, and it says if nothing happens to download and run it, and so I've ended up downloading 3 launchers and running them, and then I get the thing that says the meeting is going to start soon.
Weird. I'll
So
have to
it
ask him
always
what's
takes
up
me
with
like 2 or 3 Zooms, and then I have to
Right.
delete them after the meeting because I don't need that many.
I wonder if it could
That's what
be
happened
something with
to me
an.
today.
Could it be something to do with antivirus or something? Because I mean, I don't get any problems when I'm on a Mac.
Maybe.
Justin doesn't get any problems either, though. Do you, Justin? No, maybe so.
You
Justin?
see, I can't hear you.
Justin.
Well, next time I'm going to wait all the way, even when it goes past 5:30 a little bit, and
Right.
see
Because he
if
doesn't
maybe
always.
I'm not waiting long enough. But it went to 5:31, and then I went and downloaded and ran another Zoom. So
Well,
now I've got
I didn't
3
connect
copies.
until maybe a minute or two after 8:30. So
Yeah, it won't work until he connects.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try it next week. Yeah.
okay. Well,
You
anyway,
got a text or something.
that wasn't me. Someone else must have. My phone's on vibrate.
I heard a beep. I don't know.
It wasn't me. Mine's on vibrate.
Your note on your computer.
Nope, it wasn't me.
Oh, there's Justin.
Oh, there's Justin. Justin, you there? Did he went mute. Could he not hear us?
You wouldn't
Justin.
do that.
Yeah, I heard speech on or speech off or something.
Justin,
How do you know it's
hello.
Justin?
Because, okay, who else among you has a screen reader activated?
Because mine's
Oh.
on, mine's
I
on
didn't know that. Didn't know that one. I mean,
Yeah,
I knew
Justin?
he had one, but I didn't know that's how
Yeah.
you knew.
Right, well, he'll be around. I'm sure. I don't know what's up with him.
He's always having little problems with
I
his
know, right?
mic.
He's always.
Uh-huh.
I told him I'm gonna.
He'll come
Yeah.
back. He'll come on.
I told him I'm gonna get him a microphone one day because his microphone kind of stinks.
I feel like he can hear everything.
He obviously can't, or he'd say something.
No, or he's trying to talk and we can't hear him.
Well, I texted
Right.
him, so.
See if he's muted. Or he can't be.
Can't. No, it shouldn't be. Anyway, so how's everyone doing this week?
Good.
Good.
Yeah,
You sound much
good.
You're doing good, PK?
Yeah.
You're good. I'm glad.
I'm doing good.
Yay.
I got a job.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What
Congratulations.
happened? I didn't hear about this.
Brandon, shame on you.
Sorry for after Tyler. It was a busy day. Ah! She hit me.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
went.
hard.
I told Brandon about this one job that I had applied to, and the lady's like, "Oh, we do group interviews. Just hang in there. Don't give up." And I was
Right.
like, that was like the perfect thing because I was starting to stress. And then yesterday, I just got this feeling, call Winn-Dixie and talk to them and find out what's going on and say, hey,
Winn-Dixie?
you put in an application. This and that.
That sounds so
it's a grocery-
familiar.
Back. Sorry, guys.
Oh, there you go. Okay. We'll let Brenda finish first.
So I went ahead and called the guy, and the guy, as soon as he heard that I used to work for them down the street, he's like, come in either today or Wednesday, we'll talk. I go in, we talked for like maybe 10 minutes, and he's like, okay, I'm going to submit for a certain amount of money, which is like more than 80 cents what I was making at the other place for the same exact job. More than 80 cents an hour. And
Right.
he told me it's anywhere from, he says it's up to 35 hours because obviously he can't give me full time. So part time goes up to 35 hours. And they're just doing the background check and everything now. He's supposed to call me tomorrow because corporate's supposed to get back to him by tomorrow with
so
the background check and everything. So,
right.
and then he'll put me on the schedule. So
That's
I got
amazing.
hired.
That's awesome. Yay.
That's
Where's
great.
this at again? I didn't missed it.
You said Winn-Dixie sounded really familiar. What is that?
Yeah, it's a grocery store.
Oh, it's the one you used to be at,
okay.
right?
Yeah, but at a different location.
Oh, cool.
That's
You're
awesome.
working just now, right, Brenda?
I'm sorry?
Are you working right now?
I will be as soon as they put me on the schedule, but no, I haven't been.
Oh, okay.
Is it a checker thing?
No, I'm going to be in customer service on the desk and in the office.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Cool.
That's awesome. Good.
Well,
That's
well
perfect
done,
for you.
Brenda. Outstanding.
That's awesome.
Dixie. That's what I'm talking about.
So Justin, how are you? You think you went on vacation on us or something?
Went on
we didn't-
vacation.
No. We didn't hear you for several minutes. We thought you went away.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I said I was going downstairs for a minute.
Oh, none of us
We
heard
I had
didn't
to
hear
eat real
you.
quick. I was actually writing for almost up to the call. So I had to eat real quick so I could work out after the call.
Yeah. Well, how are you this week?
I got told yesterday that they will put me on more as soon as the grant comes through. They're going to put me on another grant. So
Oh, good.
because I asked,
Right.
finally I said, last weekend I said, all right, God, should I do any more on this? And he said, and the creator said, no. I asked Archangel Raphael, nope, don't do anything more. You done what you're supposed to. And just something said, go ahead and ask him. And I asked him, and he says, no, next. He said, whenever it comes in, he said, you're on the top of the list. So just be patient. I said, okay, that's fine. It just has to come through first. I said, okay.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
My magic got home. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Justin,
awesome.
where do you work?
Able, South Carolina.
The what?
Able, South Carolina.
What is
Able,
that?
South Carolina. It's a Center for Independent Living
Oh, cool.
for persons with disabilities.
I work at a Center for Independent Living. Only it's a volunteer job, but I wonder if they're nationwide or something.
They are.
Because I know they're
Federally mandated.
statewide.
They're federally mandated. If you're a Center for Independent Living, they're federally mandated. You have
Guess
to
what
have
directions is here.
51. You have to have 51% employees and board members with disabilities.
They're nonprofit, right?
Yes.
Because I think the one I work for, it's called Independent Living Services,
Okay.
They're all probably called
and they're
different
all
things.
over California.
Yeah, they might be, but if they have to be under what I'm talking about, they have to be a Center for Independent Living.
Okay.
Yes.
So if
That's
it's
mine.
a Center for Independent Living, then yes. If it's not, then it's something else.
Ours is called Directions in Independent Living, but it isn't. But they are an independent living center.
Right.
They
Well,
do.
ours is also state and federal, you know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's probably
it might be the same thing. It's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
But
Called different things.
But yeah, it worked. My magic got home, so it worked like it was supposed to.
That's a good place. I mean, it's a pretty good place.
And then I'm also a writer. I'm gonna get a book out. I think we're still on schedule for it to come out May 4th.
Yay! Really cool.
You have a publisher and everything?
Yes.
That reminds me, I have to check into. I either got or am getting published in a book, not my own book. It was it's called 365 Life Shifts, I think, and I wrote a story of my own in there about one of my experiences with, a time when my life shifted and things really changed for me. I believe it is published or else about to be published.
I thought it was already.
I'm not
I've
sure.
counted, though. You've got 366, Brandon.
I'm sorry?
I've counted your life shifts. You've got 366. So they are a little bit inaccurate.
What's your book about, Justin?
My book is called Blind Faith. It's about a warrior, a blind warrior.
Cool.
He's a paladin.
It's a fiction?
Yeah, it's fantasy.
That's really
cool.
awesome.
Is it going to be on Amazon, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I am not going to be in charge of the marketing. I am sure that it will be. We'll try to also make it an accessible format. I don't know how to do that.
Well, as long as it's Kindle, it will be.
Oh, it is? Kindle used to not be accessible, so it is.
I know, they are now.
Wait, the actual Kindle, the machine, or Kindle, the app?
No, the app.
We get the
I
app.
don't know about the machine, but the app is accessible.
Okay. Yeah. So I can load Kindle. Can I load Kindle? Do I have to pay for it?
No,
It's free.
You just have to pay for the books. That's all, not the app.
So that might be better than Audible.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's cheaper anyway.
Audible, I like Audible better, to be
Yeah, well, I mean,
honest.
I like Kindle for nonfiction. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it to read fantasy. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You like Kindle for fiction? No, for nonfiction?
Nonfiction. Audible's good for fiction because you get the different voices and stuff like that. But Kindle, I like for...
Okay, I might have to get
for nonfiction.
Kindle because that's the only reason I wanted it is for
you
nonfiction
should.
stuff.
Just download it on your phone. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why people get the device. You have a phone.
I would just get it for nonfiction because I don't care about... I get fiction with the Bard site, so I don't really...
Right, yeah, so does
I
Christine.
like Bard.
I don't... Their narrators generally aren't as good, but so I usually... just
Some
go
of
on
them
the Bard.
are.
Yeah, I know some of them are. I've listened to them with you. Anyway...
okay.
So get the app.
I'll get that. So, my book's coming out May 4th, and I've got...
Awesome.
Whenever the... that's my birthday, so May the 4th be with me.
Cool.
There's a birthday gift for you. And then...
yeah, really?
And then I've got I don't know when the grants, whatever's coming in, but he said, nope, you're on the top of our list. I said, okay, good.
Awesome. Good. Things are looking up. All right, so I have several announcements this week. So first of all, most of you, if not all, I think you've already done this, but just for those listening. The Art of Reality Creation 2.0 is beginning next Monday. It was going to be the first. I'm changing it to the third.
Oh.
Yeah, because that was when we've decided. I don't know how many of you know this. We've decided to make it pre-recorded, so it's not live classes. Because basically, every time I've done live classes, we get a lot of registrations, and only a very small handful of them actually show up for the live class. So it's like, okay, what's the point? And I feel like with a pre-recorded class, I can cover a lot more material. If people have questions, they can ask them in the comments, on the material itself on the site. So we are going to pre-record it, and then it will be available starting next Monday, and then after that next Monday, April 3rd, and then available 1 week apart. I don't know. It's a pre-recording, probably midnight.
Oh, just whenever. And what format will it be? Like an email?
You'll get an email that has a link to it.
Oh.
So,
Probably
Yeah.
like it normally is,
It'll
Just like
stream.
a podcast or something. Like a
Right, you
normal,
just hit play.
like a
You
normal
go to the
recording.
link, you hit play, and you listen to it. And it may or may not allow you to download. I'm not sure yet. But probably just stream. I don't know. But anyway, so that is what's coming out. So for anyone who hasn't yet signed up, I highly recommend it. Also, my email list software was kind of on the fritz for a while. Because I haven't been getting replies. Christine, yours finally came through. Christine helped me test it. It finally came through today. But several
Weird.
people tried replying to me and it didn't come through. I'm in communications with the with Active Campaign, who's my mailing list host, about that. So if, because if you were in Art of Reality Creation 1.0, you get this one half off. Okay? If you tried to email me about that, because you need the coupon, if you tried to email me about that and I did not get back to you yet, email me again because I've gotten through all requests. Okay,
That's what happened to me. Yeah.
Right. So if you try to email me and I haven't got back to you, I don't have it. I guarantee you right now I don't have it. So email me again and I will then just email me at brandon@cocreationcoaching.org. Okay. So email me there and I will then get back to you and give you the coupon for signing up for half off. Again, this is for those who were in Art of Reality Creation 1.0. The discount for 25% off is over, so no more discounts other than those who were in the first class. But sign-ups still open for regular price, $47 for all those who registered this week. So I'm really excited about the class. I think we have a lot more, techniques now that have been developed over the months since the last one. And I'm in like the reality control room. I mentioned that in last week's podcast. Yes, I did. And so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it a podcast or a blog post?
No, because I remember you commenting on it and saying it sounded a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you weren't in my post as far as I know.
That's true.
That'd be really weird if you were.
I remember you doing that too, I think.
Yeah, I talked
you're
about it
right.
on the podcast.
You do so much stuff that I get.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. Sign up for the class if you haven't already. I mean, I'm not making you, but I suggest it. And that's cool. Okay, so I don't know what questions you would have, but if you have questions about that, let me know. What's that, Justin?
What's the date? The 27th?
Today is the 28th.
So about mid-January, before that new moon on the 27th.
Right.
I did because I was waiting to get on the grants and I hadn't got there. So I did my first ritual, worked to it. Then I did it again because I sensed that I had widened the gap, but it didn't, I wasn't quite direct enough.
Right.
I was trying to not aim at something because I had too much force. So if I hit a certain spot, I can do a lot of damage.
Right.
So what I did the next time was dropped Archangel Raphael into the gap a certain way. Just, gave him specific instructions. So I got my yes yesterday. So that was 1 to 3 months. So that's
the next
and
level goal.
I used magic. I didn't use, a little bit different, but it was a
lot
more.
That was like
it was a lot more like exact. You know what I mean? Boom.
Well, you know what I did? My first, I guess you could say, left-hand path or black magic ritual, because I've been on the right-hand path. I was on the right-hand path for many, many years, and finally realizing that the left-hand path fits me a lot better. I did my first ritual for that just recently, and because I've always said I'm not a huge ritual person, because I don't have a lot of tools. I'm not like real good with like symbolism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But but I set up I got a simple ritual structure for black magic. By the way, I hope most of you guys read my post on black magic yesterday, or else this is going to be confusing. Let's just say left-hand path. I got a simple ritual structure, basically from the temple set, actually. I I kind of did my own stuff inside of that framework, and I did, because the visual symbols don't work for me. So I built a music track to go with the ritual. That was the key. That was because I decided, I'm like, well, I kind of want to experience it. And I had something, I'm not going to say what the goal was. I had something I kind of needed some movement on that was making me nervous. Okay, so I'm like, I think this might be a good way of kind of testing this stuff out, right? Mm-hmm. So I did I created a ritual. I built a music track to kind of go with it, for, raising energy for, my own sake, and performed the ritual on Sunday, right? Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was so amazing.
It was good.
And got all my results within not exactly 24 hours, but just about, pretty much, maybe 30 hours, I guess. So my results I got within the first, I had two things actually was for, I know usually you should do a ritual for one thing, but they were very related. The first thing I got that night, and then the second thing I got a little over a day afterwards, so last night I got it. So the ritual was amazing. So I plan on doing a lot more, because even though I know I don't need to all the time, it moved a lot more energy, and it was so enjoyable to do. It was a lot of fun. So that was cool.
Also, you feel like you're doing something too.
Right. Well, it's the psychodrama. Mm-hmm. So the subconscious, the psychodrama was, after I was done, I felt like something was accomplished. Mm-hmm. How many times have you tried to sit there and visualize, and you're done and like, oh, that was in my head.
Did we do something? Did the universe hear? I mean, I heard what happened, but did anybody else?
So, but after this ritual, I'm like, something was put out there. I am absolutely positive of this.
You get so much power behind it. If you
right. Oh my goodness, power. Oh, there was a lot of power. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was definitely, I plan on doing that a lot more. Now, it's not always necessary. Ritual is a prop, that's true, but it is really, first of all, really fun. So, magicians like to be dramatic. I'm just telling you. They like ritual. It's all about the persona. It reminds me of, Christine and I read this series. Well, we have one more book to go in it. What's it called?
Off to be the Wizard.
Thank you. Off to be the Wizard.
That's the first book.
What's the series called?
Practical Magic? No. Wait. That's not the name of it.
Something Magic 2.0, isn't it?
I'm about to download.
Oh, yeah.
Something Magic. What's it called? Hang on.
Practical Magic 2.0.
Is that what it's called?
Is it?
I don't know. We're going to look real quick.
And
But do you have any other announcements? Because
yeah, I'm going to lead into it.
Okay,
yeah,
just making sure you didn't forget, because you're forgetful.
I have another announcement. Don't ask as if you don't know.
Well, it was my subtle way.
That was actually very funny, Christine.
I'm
serious.
That was
incredible.
Funny.
That was actually very funny. That was just.
What's that?
When she said, "Oh, but do you have another announcement?"
No.
Like newsflash. It's like, hey.
Hint.
Yeah, but the
thing just called Magic 2.0. I don't worry about practical.
But who's it? When I say I really mean word, I don't even know if ritual to me is kind of. I don't know why I use that. I think I use that word because I've seen it, but I never mean ritual.
Okay, you don't go and do the whole 9 yards.
I do. Well, I don't even know what the whole 9 yards is. I mean, I may call the LBRP. I do that.
Right.
And then I journey, and then I summon, call, and do all kinds of energy stuff.
Right. But most of yours is like inward, not most of it's not physical. Or is it?
I don't know. Let's see. Without knowing exactly what you do, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I guess it is physical. I mean, the first.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you do that. I use energy, deep breathing.
Okay.
I put my hands on the candle. I actually summon a lot of energy. I actually summon my own sigils. I actually summon my own symbols.
Right.
I have no idea what the universe is going to send me. a mixture of kind of conjure and shamanism.
Anyway, what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your point.
And the first thing I do, I found it really works, is I got an entire house to myself. Just kind of
right
when you want to do a ritual.
That's nice. Yeah.
Or work or do a job. So I take the candle. I just did it. And I'm lining up with whatever correspondences. It might be the planets, the planetary hour or whatever. But then what I do is I take incense that I'm going to use, and I actually power up the incense and light the incense downstairs and let the candle bathe in that incense energy first.
Right.
Oh, you get so much power from that. It's not even fun. Oh, my God. It's like the candle's ready to go already. And then you do the LBRP or whatever with it, and it's like, wow, I don't even need to put any intent into this.
Right.
Man, it's incredible.
But
common sense. I have to use it.
But anyway, so my point was, magicians like to be very dramatic. It reminds me of this book. The series is called Magic 2.0. It's a fiction book, but it's about these basically computer programmers, the type like me, who discover that the universe is basically computer code. They discover that if you manipulate this file, you can change anything, and they create this shell program that basically like they can do anything a fantasy type wizard would do, right? And so they go into the medieval England and become these wizards. But one of the big things they always say in the book is about being dramatic, right? You have to be showy with it. And that's magicians, in my experience, love to be showy, even though usually they're doing it alone. But they still, I guess, I don't know, for the subconscious, I guess, or for us to feel like something's been done. You want to feel showy. You want to feel like you're doing something. So don't you think it kind of it's like that, Christina?
Yeah, I do.
So it reminds me of that.
Well, and it just like the Catholic Church is huge on ritual.
Right.
Because you kind
but
of...
they think it actually does something.
Well, it really does, though.
Only because of the subconscious stuff.
Huh?
Only because of the subconscious stuff.
Oh, Justin was saying something.
What were you saying, Justin?
I mean, if you build the energy right, it does. But I kind of have the feeling that a lot of them don't.
Oh, I know.
If you just go through the motions, it do nothing.
Right.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I just say these words, then. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I think we went over this once. I mean, since they've been echoed before, you will get some power out of it.
Yeah, because of the
you
focus.
Won't get what you will if you make it yours or something. You don't really work with it. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, so I did that ritual, and I was just really happy with the results of it. I got everything I wanted within a day or so, and so I'm gonna do a lot more with those. But it was fun. And it's so much for me better than like your let's say Wiccan type rituals or right hand path rituals. Like those for me just never really worked for me all that much.
No.
And I never was really into them. They just felt like, I don't know.
Forced?
I could never connect with them. Yeah, forced. It's a good word. I could never connect with them. So this one I could really connect with. It was my own. It was, it was really awesome. So.
Did you make some of that up?
The ritual?
Yeah.
I made a lot of it up.
Did you use the base and then you just made it up? Yeah,
I used the base and then did my own thing.
They say that's one way to do it. I don't know Wiccan rituals, so I couldn't.
Wiccan rituals is like you cast a circle, you call the quarters, like the guardians of the watchtowers of the east and the south and the west and the north and whatnot, and you call the god and goddess and you whatnot, whatever, and then you do your ritual, and it's just I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I've read them, but I just couldn't get I couldn't.
Right. So yeah, it was sort of, but this was I did, instead of a circle, I did ring the bell. Actually, it wasn't quite a bell. It was a meditation chime type thingy. I didn't have a bell, but I rung it.
You mean you rang it?
I rang it, whatever. 9 times. And that opens and closes the ritual so that we don't do a circle. But it was the first time I'd done a ritual without a circle, but I didn't feel like anything was missing. The whole area felt sacred. You know what I mean? It felt like it kind of covered the whole area. So it worked.
I was wondering if I could say something.
Go for it.
Of course.
Are you done, Brandon? I didn't want to
I'm done.
go over what you were saying. It was very interesting.
Is it a related comment or question, or is it something different?
Well, it's not about magic, but it's something. It's a mystery. It might be magic. Something that happened to me last night. Why does it? Does it have to be related?
No, just because I was about to go into an announcement that's extremely related to this.
Oh, well, go ahead.
And if it was a direct question about what I just said, or a comment or something, then
go ahead.
We would discuss it.
I'll just do it later or another time.
Yeah,
right after.
It'll take me like a few minutes. So,
sure.
All right. Most of you probably got my email the other day, but I'll just sort of explain where I'm coming from. Okay, so I have been that since like last October, I already kind of talked about this last week a little bit, but since last October, I've gotten into magic and, started working with Hades and all that kind of stuff, right? I talked about that last week. But, started working with that kind of thing and started opening up more on the site about magic and, metaphysics and, whatever. But last few weeks, well, really since it started, I feel like I've been kind of skimming the surface of it because there are certain people on the site or certain readers, not everyone's ready for it or not everyone's open to it, which is okay. But it feels like I'm trying to force the energy sometimes, right? Okay, I'm talking about this, casting a spell or casting a circle and whatnot, and it's like not quite everyone's there with it, which, again, that's okay. But I've been feeling this intuitive drive, this intuitive sense that I need to narrow my focus, okay? Because I feel that I need to go deeper with this magical stuff, right? So, go deeper with these principles. There's so much more to explore. I mean, I've talked about a lot of the law of attraction principles. The only reason I really ever use the term law of attraction anymore is because I still want to reach out to those in the law of attraction community who aren't having success and show them, some basic stuff of how they can start having success with it, right? So otherwise, it's magic. The whole thing is synonymous. So I feel that intuitive drive to go deeper with those principles, but at the same time, the reluctance to take that on the blog itself because there's just not the energy there to match that, I guess, if that makes sense. Justin will know what I mean.
Yep.
But so for that reason, intuitively, if this kind of came up last week sometime, I think I was feeling it for a few weeks, but kind of crystallized into a specific form. I felt like, what if we take among those who are doing pretty well with, I guess you could say manifesting or with getting results, right, with their desires, and who want to go deeper with this stuff. And I think we're to the left. She'll be back, I'm sure. And form a more selective group, okay? This is not like a class or anything like COS. This is just a more selective group that's still just like the blog. It's free information, right? And we, in that group, go more deeply into these principles. So that, I did some readings on it and I did some talking to the gods about it, I guess. And it felt right to go in that direction. So what we've done, and it's still very much in its infancy, we've created a group. We already have several people interested, so that's awesome. And I did send out an email about this on Saturday, I think, but some of my information's a little changed since then, just because how I thought I was going to do it isn't exactly how I'm going to do it after all. So I want to clear up confusion. So we're going to create a group. We're calling it the Order of the Black Flame. If you have read yesterday's post, you'll know why that is. If you haven't, then I'm not going to explain it right this second because it's in the post. So I recommend reading that. I mean, if you have a specific question about it, I'll answer it, but I'm not going to go into the explanation of the name. But again, it's for the purpose of exploring magical principles, of going more deeply, of learning how to impose one's will upon the objective universe, and of how to walk the left-hand path, separating your individuated consciousness from the objective universe. So that's the purpose of it. I kind of see it as and this is lacking, especially on the left-hand path, in my opinion. I see it as a comprehensive potential. Again, I have to build all this up. Comprehensive magical education in, magical arts, I guess. Both generally speaking for, ritual theory, magical theory, mythology, that kind of stuff, and more specialized interests as well. Divination, astrology, whatever interests there might be out there. So I see it as not only, okay, you join and then sort of do your own thing, and we don't, we want to give you the resources, right? That's how I see it. I have to do a lot of writing for that, but I like that. So that's how I see it. That's how I formulate it. And initially when I sent it out last Saturday, I said we would only be starting with 9 people who were not novices, just to sort of help build it. I've decided since then just to open it up fully, not limit the number, and just see where it goes. Okay, so and it's open. I'm not going to say it's open to anyone. We have to make sure you're right for it, but you can apply to it. And it's open if you are a novice, that's okay. As long as, you basically, at least with some things, you know what you're doing with law of attraction or with a little bit of magic or something. So that's what we're doing. And if you want to learn more information about that, you can go to cocreationcoaching.org/OBF. I'll repeat that. It's cocreationcoaching.org/ okay.
Bless you.
No, that was a cough.
So, I just coughed. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, so it's cocreationcoaching.org/OBF for Order of the Black Flame. I'll link to it in the support call blog post as well. So if you want to learn more about it, all the principles are there that you can read. You can learn about what we do and how it works, and you can apply for it. So that is what is going on. I'm really excited about it.
That's a pretty cool name, too.
You like it? It sounds very...
I do like that.
Order of the Black Flame.
I think I gave you several other names if you wanted to use them. But
yes, you did. Yeah, I like the Black Flame because of the symbolism of isolate intelligence. That's the Black Flame, within us, and that's what we're trying to develop. So I guess I explained it anyway. Oh well.
Too bad flames aren't really black.
Oh well.
I'm sure you could come up with a black flame if you threw the right powders into the fire.
Right, yeah, well.
We could find a way to do it.
But in some rituals, like you can light, I know it's not black literally, but you can light a black candle. And that's what a lot of people do in their rituals. So, but anyway, so I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I sort of see it as like co-creation coaching. Nothing will change in the blog itself. I don't want people to be afraid of like things changing or my focus shifting. Coaching's still available. Classes are still available and going to be offered. Nothing's going to be taken away from that. It's just, I guess, I see law of attraction as sort of a watered down magic. Mm-hmm. If you're okay with these very basic techniques to get, your desires, as much as you can, that's great. But at some point, when you really want to make big change in the objective universe, or you really just want to go deeper and kind of develop yourself and your own will, you need more than just these, visualization and journaling and whatnot. Like, it just requires more than that. Law of attraction doesn't really include inherent spirituality. I mean, you can merge it with anything, but it's just sort of, okay, I want to do this to get my desires, which is okay. That's what I've been focusing on for basically a year and a half now. But you can't. You can only go so far with it, I guess. Law of attraction's been around for like 150 years.
Sometimes you can knock it out of the park, man.
Exactly, right.
That's what I've been doing for years.
It's sort of watered down. So for those who really want to go deeper, I mean, magic's been around for millennia, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it's, these principles are developed, they are tested, they are practiced by many, many people. And so it's there. So that's what's going on. So I see co-creation coaching as sort of a doorway for those who want to go deeper. The option is there. If you don't, you can remain kind of on the surface and use the techniques I offer on the blog and in the classes. So that's how I see it. So that is my announcement. Any questions about that?
Sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
You gotta swing for the fences. I've been doing it for years. I'm like, man, I need this to happen. I don't care how. No,
Well, yeah. It took me finding my path. Again, like, witchcraft or like low magic didn't fit me. Like I said, Wiccan ritual just wasn't my thing. Ceremonial, like right-hand path ceremonial magic, like Golden Dawn, OTO, Thelema, also isn't my thing. It's way too structured, way too, like, you have to do every little thing right, and some of them even say, like, you can't do magic for personal gain, which is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Oh, God, that's ridiculous.
Right. So I just had to find my thing, which is the left-hand path, and that really worked for me, the ritual and that kind of thing. It felt perfect, like, that felt great. So, like I've said before, I wasn't into ritual much, and I mean, it's not like you use it all the time or something. You use it when you need to. And it's good to have these other techniques to sort of back it up. But when you really need to use it, it's nice to have it there. Right? So that's
risks
really nice.
with it?
I'm sorry?
Are there risks with it?
Are there risks with magic? I would be lying if I said no. I mean, there's risks with anything. Like, anyone who goes on a spiritual path, a really serious spiritual path, there are risks, right? Mm-hmm. There's risks of self-delusion. There's risks of all sorts of different things. Mm-hmm. So I'd be lying if I said no. Is there, if you're careful and... Right. If you're careful and cautious and don't go faster than you're ready for, are there serious risks? Probably not. It's not, I mean, it depends what kind of risks you're talking about. I mean, there are magicians who can go way off into left field and into self-delusion, and yeah, that can happen. But, if you're well-balanced overall and...
and maybe if you're in a group, it's not.
And in the group too. That's what the group is good for.
Is a risk. There are risks,
right?
But
Exactly.
There's also reward, and if
getting up in the morning is a risk.
I mean, and like, just go no faster than you're able to handle, or whatever else. I mean,
Sometimes we don't know what we're able to handle.
That is true.
This is true. This is true,
and that's why a group can really help.
That's why a group helps.
Yeah. In the Order of the Black Flame, I have set up 3, we'll call them degrees. I know it sounds very kind of formal and all that. It's really not, but 3 degrees. The first degree is called the Neophyte, which is basically when you're just beginning, you are very new to all this stuff. You get a mentor from probably the 3rd degree, who's going to help you to make sure you're on the right path, to make sure, you're not going too fast or too slow or anything, how fast she goes up to you, but to make sure you're doing it safely. Help you with your questions and doing everything you want to do, right? It's general training. Once you are confident enough to kind of go at it on your own, then it's the 2nd degree called the Adept. And that is where you can study more specialized interests, that we're going to try to offer. But obviously we can't offer everything because, we have to have people who have that knowledge in order to make that available. So over time, more and more will be available.
You could always ask to see if we know about
Right,
stuff.
Exactly. So the 2nd degree is more specialized. By that point, you should know what's safe for you and what's not. But for those who are new at it, that's why we have the Neophyte degree. For those who just aren't totally sure and are feeling a little bit kind of insecure about it, you're going to get someone who can help you with that kind of stuff. The 3rd degree is just for those who are like, right now, me and Christine, Justin's thinking about it, who are going to be leading the whole thing and helping out where we can, that kind of stuff, and making certain knowledge available, like specializations and things like that. So that's the general structure of it, just because I want to make sure those who are feeling kind of insecure about it or not sure will have the resources available. And then those who are more sure, we don't need to help them as closely as someone in the, let's say, a neophyte degree. So that's how it's structured for that very reason. So a group can really help with that, I think, when you're not sure. A lot of people who set out on their own, it can kind of be a little scary sometimes because you just don't know what you're doing. And, so I think that'll help, hopefully.
That if you're calling up so much more power, that the risk is that if you're not absolutely on the right direction, you'll get something that you don't want.
Well, yeah.
Are you talking about resistance? Sorry. Or are you talking about something else?
What's that? No, I'm sort of thinking that if you're actually trying to manifest something.
Right.
That, yeah, I mean, I've actually had manifestations that kind of almost get there, but at the last minute zip off somewhere else.
Right. So you're talking about like resistance to the manifestation?
Probably, yeah.
Right. I find that with ritual, it changes your subconscious mind a lot faster. So, okay, generally with law of attraction, you have a separation between the technique, like visualization or journaling, and the actual kickback, the reaction to that technique. Okay, the resistance is what that is. There's a separation usually. I mean, yes, you can feel it right away, but a lot of times you'll do a lot of visualization, you'll get to feel really good about it, and then later that day or the next day, it'll all come back up like, oh my gosh, so much resistance. That's generally how the law of attraction works. Rituals, I find, because it's like, again, it's a psychodrama. You're acting it out. Your subconscious knows something is different here. You might, like next week I'm going to actually purchase a robe for my magical workings because it makes me feel more powerful. It makes me feel more in that magical state. Things like that. You set up your area with, symbols that mean something to you. You might use music. You might use candles, whatever, to set up the mood you want, the atmosphere you want. And then you do the ritual. And I find it goes so much deeper into the subconscious mind than just, say, 5 minutes of visualization. And the ritual, like my ritual Sunday lasted 10 minutes. Actually, a little less than 9 minutes. But it was so powerful in the time that it did take that it just happened just like that. There was very little resistance as a result. Okay. I got a message in the chat. There was very little resistance as a result of the ritual. Yes, some doubts came up, but I was able to kind of just, okay, whatever, and move on. And the rewards of that, or the success of that ritual, made itself evident very quickly. So it's a very different setup when you're doing a ritual than when you're doing law of attraction techniques. So you're not going to have as much resistance because you're going to, go a lot deeper. It's sort of like... Okay, I know this is a weird analogy. Ever been in like a really small boat, and if the waves are at all choppy, you're really, really, really going to feel it. If you're in a small little canoe or something, if you go out on a big, ship, you're not. All that stuff's just going to go unnoticed. Okay, so the size of the vessel will dictate how much you feel the turbulence or the choppiness of the waters. Law of attraction techniques. Wait, squeaked.
I noticed that.
Law of attraction techniques would be like going out in a little canoe. Okay, if there's resistance, you're gonna feel it.
Yep.
Doing a ritual is like going out in a big passenger ship, right?
I've been on a cruise. You don't even know you're on it.
Right, like that's what that's like. I mean,
yeah, you don't even know you're on it. But
you're going out and you're cutting your path through, and you're barely gonna notice anything. I mean. Now there is a spectrum. I mean, the more confident you are as a magician, the better. The more it will be like that. But you're not going to feel the resistance nearly as much in ritual than as you will with a law of attraction. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
But
now that might come up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought that feeling the resistance was a good thing, that it was actually something that showed you more about yourself.
Well,
okay. It's important, it's good if it's present. Okay, so
What was the question?
I thought that resistance was a good thing to experience to, change the subconscious structures and whatnot.
Okay.
Yes, if it's present. So if you're doing a law of attraction technique, you want it to bring up all the resistance it can to an extent, of your capacity to handle it, right? That's true, and you deal with that resistance. But ritual just bypasses that because it goes in and just changes the subconscious structures without having to deal with that resistance as much. I'm not saying it won't exist. I'm not saying you won't doubt. I'm not saying you'll do the ritual and everything's great. I'm saying it really, really...
Cuts it in half, maybe?
Right. It really goes around. It circumvents a lot of that stuff. So resistance is a shortcut. Resistance is only good insofar as, you need to get it out of there. But there are easier and harder ways of doing that. Law of attraction techniques.
It's like law of attraction. You feel everything,
right?
And in ritual, you
don't as much.
It's more big picture, but it's
right.
But it's still just as effective because it's like if you were to get EMDR done, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
Right.
It changes your brain.
Or same with NLP.
Or with NLP, yeah, exactly.
Get my own technique in there.
Any of those things that change your brain,
right.
Or you every single day just deal with it and deal with it without doing anything.
And that can help, but it's not as...
Exactly.
For me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, you go first, Justin, because you were...
you were first.
For me, I don't really feel any in ritual or work.
Right, in the ritual you shouldn't feel anything. Like any
really, even that. But for me, what it did was the resistance I felt at certain points when I was waiting for it to come in was very intense. But once it was over with, it was over with. And I think some of that was me, just annoyed. But I mean, it was a weird type. It was different than normal. But then there was a point to where it didn't really matter. So that it was like, okay, it's resistant. Okay, I know what this is. Whatever. Then I could deal with it, and I used some techniques to deal with it. But it's a little bit different, and I used it a good bit. Ritual or working's a good bit.
Exactly. Right.
Also, with workings, you kind of know they're going to work usually, and if they're not, you can sort of tell when you need to do it again.
You know what? That was okay. I want to say, and then I'll let Frann say her thing. In my ritual, I said my thing, to the gods that I called up in my ritual, and at first, I did not feel acknowledgement. At first.
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
No, I didn't. At first, I felt sort of not nothing, but okay, not yet. And then, not that they were saying not yet, but just that the energy wasn't quite there. So then I redoubled my energy and, did the same, not the same exact thing, but kind of reiterated my desire. It was only with the second desire that this happened. The first one was fine. For the second desire, there's probably more resistance. The second time, again, in the same ritual, I got an instant acknowledgement. Okay, it will be done. And I knew it would be done. So it's true what you say, Justin. So I knew it would be done. And then I let it go. I released the energy of the ritual. And again, it happened within a day. I got the first sign of success within 30 minutes, which was actually really amazing.
Oh, yeah. I've seen,
Right. So that's very true. So you'll have... sometimes in the ritual, you'll know when you've made your effect, when you've made your change you need to make.
I've even seen signs of success before I did a spell.
Oh, sure, that can happen.
I've seen it.
That can change time.
Kind of choose it. You're like, oh, yeah, I need to do this one.
Yep. So that was definitely, you're standing between worlds. I know it sounds sort of like hokey a little bit, but You're standing between worlds. You are literally creating. Your will is going out and impressing itself upon the objective universe. And you will know when you've made your desired change. You will know it.
And
right?
Also, sometimes with law of attraction, I try not to say it too harshly, but sometimes you're blocked
Just go ahead.
by other people.
Right.
So you might be in a situation where you can't, there's nothing, like you can pull as much power as you want, but if there isn't the resources or there's a human in the way.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that in last week's podcast.
Unless you move, you might find your job or your money in Austin, Texas. But if I'm in Arizona, I don't really want to move to Austin, because the universe might say, well, you can move to Austin, but you said if you want to stay in Arizona, you ain't gonna get it unless you use magic. So,
what were you going to say, Fran? You had a question.
Well, from what you and Justin have been saying, and from what I've seen over the months, how things have changed, it's obvious that, your main interest is magic. And, and then you said, you're still going to keep the blogs and the coaching and all that. But I don't know if you realize it, but it kind of sounds like you've been putting down law of attraction in a way, both of you. It's just very subtly, and that it's just a shallow, difficult, shallow kind of a way of, and not as, more of an inferior way of trying to get what you want. But there are a lot of people that just aren't ready for the magic thing yet.
Right.
And it kind of makes, I don't know, I'm just talking for myself. It's kind of making me feel like, are they going to be interested in, are you going to be interested really in, the law of attraction stuff that you do, and just sort of waiting to jump into the magic, but you're just sort of doing that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It becomes like a side thing, kind of,
Look, yes, that was.
Because there's a lot of us out there that still are working on the law, are just not, are still into the law of attraction and still want to experience that. And maybe we will go to magic or something, but right now, and kind of want to feel like you're really interested still.
I have a few words to that. First of all, everyone is on some part of their path.
Right.
I am not going to lie and say, whatever you want to. Yes, it is whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to say they're equal, because they're not equal. Okay? They're just not equal. The law of attraction is more shallow than traditional magic. Law of attraction is basically. I'm sorry, you sound upset, but let me explain my side. Law of attraction is basically magical principles that have been generalized for the mass public and watered down.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, all theoretically. Yes.
I know. So let me get there. So in my experience, anything that's mass publicized is watered down, because the way things work is that most people aren't ready for, how can I say it, for, think of the allegory of the cave. Okay.
You make most of your money in martial arts off of people that have not reached black belt.
Exactly.
I'm serious. Like, you literally.
Sure.
That's where you make.
And most of those people, or some of those people, might quit or might never go that far, and that's not. So, think of the allegory of the cave. Everyone familiar with the allegory of the cave?
No.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Allegory of the cave is from Plato. I really suggest reading it.
I've heard of it.
Allegory.
Yeah.
I should put on this reading list
I'd like
the
to
order.
read it.
The allegory of the cave is basically this allegory, obviously, about these people who are in a cave, chained up, face.
Hello?
I'm sorry?
You're dropping out.
Yeah, sorry, my internet
I lost
connection
a
was
whole
unstable.
sentence.
All right. The allegory of the cave is this allegory about people who are basically chained up since birth, watching, facing a wall in the cave. Okay? And they're just seeing the shadows playing on the wall. But because they've never seen anything else, that's reality to them. And in the allegory, and again, it's been a while since I've read it, so I don't know all the details, but one person gets free from these chains and goes out and actually, over time, because it takes time to really make your way out to the sun, but eventually he's able to go out and actually see the sun. And true reality is really what it is. And then he tries to go back in and free everyone else and say, hey, look, everything you've been experiencing, everything you've been living is a lie. It's all illusion. Let me unchain you. Let me bring you out and see the sun. And all of them basically say, no. This is truth. This is reality. What are you talking about? You're crazy. People in our society in general who have spoken the truth have been ostracized, have been not very popular. It's just how it goes because most people aren't ready for truth, right? So there are levels to it. I've talked about the levels of truth before. Some people are only ready for law of attraction. That's okay. That's where you are.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not going to lie and say that you can't go deeper. So what I want, my passion is helping people to create their own reality, right? Now, I will start on the shallow level. Yes, I'm going to use the word shallow because it is, but I'm going to start on the shallow level with you and help you to learn these basic techniques like visualization, these basic ways of impressing your will upon the objective universe. But it takes, just like I've always said, people watch like The Secret and then they try to go out and just manifest, and 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work.
Right.
No.
Right? And I'm trying to show you, I've always tried to show you, so to speak, like the real principles behind the law of attraction.
And
that's what I've always tried to do. And that's still true. And so that's that, that's that level. And I will continue to do that because there's a huge community out there of people who, let's say, have tried The Secret and it hasn't worked. Some of them will just, let's say, like in the allegory, we'll just go back to sleep, just watching the shadows, right? The Secret, in a way, in its own sort of weird way, is that first hint at this isn't all there is. And that's good in its way.
Yeah, it's like you have to start somewhere.
Right.
It's like people go from religion and then they transcend religion.
Right.
Because,
right.
In a way. Or
I don't like The Secret at all, but yeah.
No, me neither. I hate it, but
God,
it is. Remember when we were on the podcast with Natalie Thompson, and she said, a lot of people like to hate The Secret, which is me. But she's like, but it's sort of that first introduction. Now, some people will try it, it won't work, and they'll go back to sleep and just watching the shadows on the wall. Some people will say, oh, interesting, this feels like this should work, there's something more to it. They'll read other teachers. They might go to Neville Goddard or, Abraham or someone else, or, they might find my blog or something. They might start to have more success with different things, right? It's still, because it's the law of attraction, it's still sort of, in the allegory, there are sort of many layers of light. The sunlight is, like the sun is sort of the ultimate. So at first it's just the shadows. And then you can see like the light filtered through certain things, or the light reflected in the pond, or that's sort of the law of attraction, the light filtered in the pond. It's a greater form of light than watching the shadows on the wall, but it's not as great as looking up and seeing the sun, right? Mm-hmm. So some people will, again, start to study these principles and start to get results, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But some people kind of get stuck on this treadmill of going from one teacher to another teacher to another teacher, from one technique to another to another to another, trying to get it to work and just not really getting it, right? It's like they're in this weird limbo state of they know there's something more, but they're not getting it. That's the type of person I'm aiming for with the blog. Those people who know there's something out there that says they can create their reality, but they haven't gotten it, or not as reliably as they'd like.
Or they haven't read Wayne Dyer.
Right.
Wayne Dyer was awesome.
So they know something's out there, but just haven't really gotten the results they've wanted to get. Great. So this is the first hint that you can indeed create your own reality. Okay. Then there's another level. Then you start to get, then you start to have success. But then you sort of hit a block. You sort of hit this point where it reaches its limit, or you just you feel like there's even more. You're seeing now the go ahead.
You're in a situation where you really can't get through,
right?
Like because you've got to spend the energy different to smash obstacles out of the way, or
right, exactly.
You need more power to attract or something. You know what I mean? You need to do something, because remember, you look up and Jack's not going anywhere because he's been entrenched in that management position, and you don't want to move, and you can't get a raise.
Right. Or so those are some suggestions or some possibilities. Or they're getting some desires, pretty good stuff. But then they're saying, okay, what's behind all of this? This is something. This is definitely working. This is amazing. But what's the spiritual reality behind all of this? What's really going on? Who am I? What am I doing? Am I just here to go after one after another desire? Or is there something else going on here? That's the questioning the seeker has. And that's going to be the impetus, the catalyst, to make them look up and actually see the sun proper. And that's when they start to either... Some of them will go after Eastern traditions, which I did all that, and that is so self-denying that just isn't healthy in my opinion. Some of them will go after magic. And, and that's what I'm aiming at. So the blog itself is going after those who know there's something more, but have had zero success or little success with actually making it work. Okay? The order is for those who have either had success but know there's more possible, want to go deeper, what's this phrase, down the rabbit hole. Or they want to perceive the reality behind all of it. Or they just really want really powerful techniques. Right? Mm-hmm. That's the order. It's 2 levels, and they're doing different things. So I'm not going to lie and say, yes, they're equal. No, they're not equal. One is a kind of reflection, a watered-down version of the other. That's true. I'm sorry if you're offended by that, but that's the truth.
No, I'm not. I'm not really thinking about whether one technique is less than the other. I'm talking about you and you are relating to both of them and giving because you are the teacher, and the people that have come to your way of looking at law of attraction, you really believe in it and want to continue to get better and haven't gotten there yet in terms of getting that much deeper, would want to see that you're still, interested in that. And that your attention is there too, that you're able to do both with equal attention, kind of. Like knowing that you're not just going through the motions, and then you want to get back to the magic kind of thing. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm just saying it's just something because you've gotten so into it, and I was just wondering, if you're balancing it.
Right. That's, like I said, my passion is helping people learn really how to create their own reality, and then really how to become their own person, like that self-aware consciousness, that perpetuating that intelligence. That's my ultimate goal. Wherever you are on that journey, I want to have something available for that person, as long as you're willing and somewhat able to see that there is something more. So that's what's going on. Some people, wherever you are, it's okay. I think some people are stuck because they're afraid to go deeper, and
That was me for a long time.
Some people might be triggered by that. I'm not saying, I don't know if you are. But
I
some
know
people
I'd
might
like
be.
to go deeper. I'm not ready, but the magic thing
No,
to me is
you're-
something that's definitely I want to go
Right,
there.
right,
but-
right.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like taking, in the Matrix, like the red pill or the blue pill. Some people know the red pill exists, but are too afraid to take it
Right.
and to go deeper. And so we'll just kind of stay on the surface level. I don't want that for you, for not just you, but anyone. That's your,
I took both pills.
that's your prerogative. What's that, Justin?
I took both pills.
You took both pills?
That's just how I am.
Well, yeah, existed both realities. But you know what I mean? Like to see the deeper reality. But
It's like how Jesus had two types of, he had the parables and stuff, and then he had other teachings that we don't even know about because,
right.
or his parables, the Gnostic and the other stuff in
Right.
teaching. It's like he wanted to help everyone equally,
Right.
but he had a love for regular, normal people that he could, with the parables and interacted with every day.
Right.
And then he had his special group too,
Yep.
of disciples and
Yep.
the inner circle. It's the
Right.
same thing, but he loved
Yeah.
everyone the same.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
people are just not at
That's
different
cool.
spots.
I feel better.
I can't teach somebody. So when you trained at, I didn't get to do it. When you trained at San Jose State in judo, you didn't
Right.
you didn't take a fall for 6 months until you learn how to roll. And the black belts wouldn't work with you for the first 3 to 4 months
Yeah.
if you were white,
Sure.
because they wanted to see how you moved. Because
Right.
if they're not going 100%, you're a white belt and you go tense up real hard, you could actually hurt them by mistake, and vice
Oh,
versa.
yeah.
Because that's the two people that got hurt in judo were white belts against white belts and black belts against white belts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was usually because the black belt wasn't going real hard and the white belt would go real hard and somebody would just get injured. So
Yep.
they learned you just have to, you can't brush people along. And so that's,
Right.
and I can't teach anybody. When I was doing martial arts, I couldn't, and I still do it. But I can't teach anybody. I can't teach beyond what somebody can do, right?
Yep.
They just,
Yep.
it's not going to, I can't teach the guy that's just started a couple of months the same thing I can teach the guy who's been doing it for 5-6 years.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
not going to happen.
I used to love judo. We used to do it at Camp Abilities.
Yeah.
I used to be really good at it.
I've
But
done them all. Judo, jiu-jitsu, kempo, African
That's
martial
awesome.
arts. Still do them all.
I was the New Zealand champ for 3 years in judo.
Which one?
I was the New Zealand champion for.
Wow, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
If you were here up in
Oh,
Columbia,
that's amazing.
we could do some judo and grappling.
Unfortunately, it was before it was a Olympic sport. Otherwise, I was exact right age for going to the Olympics. But
Oh, wow.
So you can't teach anybody anything more than they can. So if you're on law of attraction level, that is okay.
Right.
If you are beyond that, that is also okay.
Right.
You just gotta get where you are, and then you can move up as you go.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed an outlet, but both for me, all this stuff is mutually beneficial. These support calls are mutually beneficial because they help those, I hope, who come here and join and participate, and those who listen. It's beneficial for me because they act as sort of a springboard for later blog posts, other ideas that I kind of formulate through the support calls, through people's questions, or just stuff that comes up. The order is the same thing. I needed for myself an outlet, a way of expressing these deeper truths that weren't, that could possibly scare away, let's say, someone who's just on the law of attraction level and not ready for that, or who might look at that, oh, this guy's kooky. I was terrified to write the post yesterday, but that was sort of my introduction to the order in a way. So, I don't know if I'll go that deep again, but that was like a really deep post. Fran, did you read that one?
It was a good post.
I'm
too.
going to tonight.
Thank
It
you.
was a very good post, actually. I enjoyed reading it.
Right. So,
like-
thank you. I appreciate that.
And
So-
we talked about it in some of our emails. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was surprised how open people were to this post. It was pretty amazing. But I don't know, people who don't comment, what their reaction is, obviously. But, so I felt a need to go deeper and not just be not just live on the surface. I felt that need personally, and also that there are people, you know, in the comments section I've seen. I've sent some personal invitations to like people in the comments who I've seen really do a great job with this stuff. But there are people who I think might be ready for the next level, right? Or if there aren't that many, then they will come because the universe will make sure that those are lined up. But, you know, it's just, I try to keep things nice and light and, I don't want to say simple, like in a derogatory way, but
it's so simple.
It's simple enough on the blog. And then if you feel drawn to something deeper, then check it out.
Right.
Really. I mean, that's, so I need that deeper level for myself to feel satisfied. And I want to provide a way for people who want more to get more. You know, that's my desire.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's great what you're doing.
So that's what's going on.
You really seem delighted with it, and it's nice to see that you're all excited.
I didn't want Frann to forget. You wanted to tell us something that happened last night.
Oh,
I didn't want anyone
Christine.
forgetting.
Yeah, I've been dying to tell you guys something.
Yeah.
And maybe you can help give me some suggestions here. It's a kind of really neat kind of thing that happened last night out of the blue. My mail comes really late here. It's like 6 o'clock. And I happened to be talking to Christine. And I got the mail, and there was this padded envelope. It didn't, I could see it wasn't from Amazon or anything. It was on just an envelope, and it was pretty big, and it had this big tracking number on it, but it came through the regular post, but sometimes what they do is they do the UPS, and then they switch over when they get to the city, and then they put it into the regular post. So I looked at while I was walking back, I looked at the return address, and it said Justin's going to like this.
What?
It said it was from Justin Stones, and it was in North Las Vegas. That's somewhere in North Las Vegas. I'm like, what's Justin Stones? So I opened it up, and I get home, and it was this beautiful, there was no packing slip, no note, no card, no nothing, just a beautiful turquoise little pouch, kind of velvety. And I opened it up, and there was the most beautiful, like 2-inch tall, and it had a little description of it. It said moonstone, and I don't know what moonstone, I don't know much about stones.
Yes.
And it said moonstone angel 2 inches. And it was beautifully carved. It was very smooth, fit right in the palm of my hand, and it's like a pearly, bluish, greenish, gorgeous, beautifully carved, and so and I'm just looking at this going, where did this come from?
Angel sent that to you.
I thought of everybody I know,
so cool.
And nobody would have just sent this to me like that without a card, without and I don't know anybody who would send it through.
Did it have your name on it?
Absolutely, correct name and address. Wow. And it wasn't handwritten. I mean, it had been something. Right. Well, what I did was I Googled Justin Stones, and what I got was a eBay. Like and it turns out there is somebody named Justin Stone, and I guess he owns it, and he goes on eBay and sells precious gems and stones. And so I was looking for the angel. I couldn't find it, but that's where it came from. So I don't know if it came from eBay, but even then, somebody who wanted me to have this angel went on eBay and then had them send it to me.
That's a moonstone angel?
Yes, it says moonstone. Do you know what a moonstone is?
Yeah, usually white. It's usually
what?
Moonstone is usually white.
Usually oranges.
Well, it's a pearly. It's translucent-y, kind of blue and white. Like when you look at it, and then it turns colors in the light. Like right now, some pink is going through it because I got it
it's weird.
up near the window.
Usually orangish, but there's different color moonstones. moonstone is intuition. It's women's intuition, and love and femininity and things like that. It's
Really?
it's an intuitive, son of a psychic stone, but it's more of the it's more of like intuition, third eye, second chakra, deep intuition.
Does it have that, I mean, pearlescent quality to it?
I don't
Or
know. I
it's-
mean, most of it is like an orange-ish.
No.
A lot of moonstones, but some of them can be different colors. But moonstone is an intuition stone. That's its thing.
Oh, wow.
A little
So
bit
interesting.
different than pure psychic abilities, like that deep intuition feeling.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's like almost clear sentience type stone. It's
And
more of a second chakra / third eye stone, but like
Right.
just is like intuition. Yours is probably closer to throat chakra.
yeah,
but
it's bluish, and then it kind of turns pinkish when you put it up to the
See,
light.
that's heart chakra. So
But it's
that's
got
what I
a
mean.
lot of
It's-
white. You can see that the basis of it is white, and
That's
somehow
a great stone.
it's gorgeous. And it looks, I think it's very expensive. It just has that quality to it. Somebody paid a lot of money for this.
You're gonna
And-
wear it or just
And the
carry it with you?
pouch matches it. Matches that bluish perfectly. It's like a perfect match. And
Right.
so I want to find out who sent this. You know, like I said, nobody I know would do that. You know, and it never got
That's
any. Do you think that I should try to get in touch if they have an office? I mean, they
No.
have
They
an
won't tell
address.
And that's a perfect stone for Archangel Gabriel because that's his colors, and that's her colors, and it's a moonstone.
Oh,
Or you could, I guess Archangel Haniel also, either one, but I would Gabriel first.
So
But-
interesting.
an angel just comes to you out of the blue like that.
Pink is
And-
also Haniel. You might be a Haniel.
What?
Just thinking of the archangels that would go with that. I might go with Haniel.
Well, pink is the heart chakra.
Yeah, I don't know who would have sent that to
No,
you.
no, it isn't. No,
It
emerald
is.
green is the heart
They're
chakra.
No,
both-
it's also pink.
They're
Oh,
both.
it is. Oh,
Yes, I don't know who sent that to you.
no. I mean, should I try to like get in touch with if they have an office?
They won't tell you. It's probably private.
They won't tell you.
No.
Mm-mm.
Probably
I mean,
not,
couldn't
but
somebody
I mean,
just go on eBay
you
and
could
then
call them,
tell
though. There's-
them, buy it and then just give my name and address, but not say that it's private?
You could just call them anyways and see.
I highly doubt that. I mean, I guess it's eBay, so it's a private person's. They might tell you, but like for a normal company, they would
But I
never
don't know
tell
if it's
you.
eBay for sure. It might have
Right.
been somebody went into their office if they have one and bought
Maybe
it.
message the seller
way.
on eBay and be like, "Someone sent this to me. Do you have a record of who that might be?"
Go
they
into where?
go contact the seller on eBay if you found a Justin Stone. Contact him on eBay and just ask.
I don't know how
if,
to do eBay.
But you know what I would do,
I've never
Fran?
done it.
And I'm serious. You know what I would do, Fran? I wouldn't do it.
Right? Who cares?
I mean, it's your gift. I wouldn't do it.
You
Right.
just
And I
do
know
it.
if someone contacted me like that, I wouldn't tell them.
Not even because of that. I just wouldn't do it. I mean,
Right.
it's
I'm a
game to
curious
you.
person.
But see, sometimes you just say thank you and keep moving.
I said thank you quite a
And
few.
keep
And
moving. Don't bother
I haven't
contacting
let go of
anybody.
that angel. What?
It's an angel. Don't bother contacting anybody. Just say thank you.
Right.
And if and it's because it came to you because it was supposed to. So that's it.
Yeah.
Your angels make sure you got it.
Yep.
Yeah. I know there is a reason for it.
So
And-
then there's no need to. I mean, if you want to. I'm just seriously. I just wouldn't. I got feeling you just shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a feeling about it that I shouldn't contact?
Yeah, I just feel like you really shouldn't.
Okay.
And sometimes things just come from God Himself or something, like,
That's
or
it.
Yeah.
and like and nobody knows how. Like, I've heard of people that have gotten checks in the mail, and nobody knows why. It just happened.
Right.
Yep.
So
So
you're
yeah.
probably
And-
not going to know.
She's so beautiful, and I've been keeping her in my hand. She fits in my hand perfectly. I had to do kind of a scary thing today, and then I drove 70 miles.
Yeah.
And I held the angel in my hand while it was on the steering wheel,
Right.
and she's gorgeous, and I love her, and I love whoever sent it.
That's so
I guess
awesome.
you're right. I should just leave it at that.
I would just take it as a
Being
gift.
an ex-journalist, I want to
Yeah.
be like researching and looking. Okay,
Right.
now I'm gonna. It's like kind of like a private detective thing. I've always wanted to
I
be
know.
a private detective.
I think Christine suggested to you before posting on Facebook and asking.
Yeah, I don't go on Facebook anymore. I won't. Right now, I don't want to go on Facebook.
Say
I don't
thank
want
you.
anything to
And
do
they
with it.
knew you needed that, Angel, to
Right.
drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have to be doing a lot of driving. I have car
I
issues.
need slightly more than an angel to drive.
Ha!
I think this angel was more than just driving.
I think I'll marry my angel to drive me.
Yeah.
No,
I
seriously.
have one, but she
I-
can't drive any better than I can.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
no,
I don't
seriously.
know if I'm-
Okay.
No, that's awesome. No, we're proud of you.
That's awesome.
We're proud of you that you were able to drive that much. I know it was a lot for you.
Oh no,
Yep.
no. I'm just saying that.
Well, I wanted
I
you to
have a
know
lot
that,
more. I
publicly.
have more driving to do. That has nothing really to do with this angel, though. This angel, I don't.
But I
don't
think
think
it
the
calmed
two
you
are
down.
I
related.
think it did.
Well, what if it
does,
is?
though. I
Yeah,
think
what if it
does.
is related?
Because it came the
Because-
night before, and it may not be, but I'm just, what if it is? And then you
What
were
if it
driving
is?
with it in your hand. So, yeah, I mean,
There are no
Yeah, but
accidents.
the expected outcome of me having to drive didn't happen, and now I have to do it again tomorrow. I'm trying to
That's
get my sensors and the computer engine to go to clear, so I can get my smog check and then drive
said
legally.
you'd have a twist. This angel was a twist.
Remember, you
Yep.
told me, Justin, that this car thing was not going to be what I thought.
That's
Yeah.
Well,
right.
it sure isn't.
You
But I
get
mean,
an
there's
angel
been
in the middle.
good that came of it. I got over a certain fear too.
Exactly. There was
But
a
I'm going to be
twist.
I'm going to be driving all over the place. This mechanic told my mechanic that he had a woman that had a Saturn also, and same
Right.
problem, and she had to drive 400 miles for the sensor to go off. But that doesn't
Wow.
necessarily mean that's going to happen to me.
I'm gonna
You know,
get me an
Right.
angel.
my car is just, it's a weird engine. But I don't know why, but I don't know why, but I think that angel is here for another reason.
Well, that's awesome. Well, but
And a
why
good
is it
reason.
mutually? Why are they mutually exclusive?
No, it doesn't
though?
have to be mutually exclusive.
Friends
But-
arguing while your
but I
angel's
mean-
there. Come
Frank, there'd
on.
be a lot of different reasons. Frank.
Have
They could
you-
all be together.
Have you guys ever had something like this happen to you? Any of you? Something
depends
came
on-
out of the blue in the mail?
Yeah, and I can't
Yeah.
think of anything right now, but yeah.
And it was
I think
just
I
in
have.
stones.
I'm not
That's
sure.
what really freaked me
That's
out.
funny.
That's
Yeah.
It's a sign of your journey continuing and your
Yeah.
healing happening and all that stuff. Just in
Yeah.
general,
I
stuff
Yeah.
happens that are.
Just telling you, hey,
So you
It's
think
so-
it could just be the universe channeled through somebody who actually bought it?
have
Yeah.
Right.
I've had a lot of things happen. Have I had anything happen out of? Yeah,
I know. I definitely have. I just don't remember what.
Yeah, I've had money come out of the blue from strange.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of abundance happen from unexpected places. I'm trying to think if I've had
And to-
anything just sort of. I won that scholarship without the state president there to even vouch for me.
That's awesome.
That was all me and Highjob working together on that one.
Well, my job sort of came out of the blue, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like. So,
Well-
are there any?
Okay.
I feel like I kind of hogged up the whole call here, but are there any specific questions? We still have a few more minutes, so don't worry about that. Are there any specific questions that any of you had today?
Yeah, we're doing this backwards. Usually, we
Or
ask
have-
questions first.
Oh, well. I want to get the answer out of the way, then we had discussion about it. But are there any specific questions that you guys have today about anything whatsoever? Well, almost anything. No, don't.
He means anything. It's okay.
Well, no, but I mean, if you ask me, how do you make plastic? I don't know the answer to that.
How do you make plastic?
Oh, I have a quick one.
I don't know
Anything.
what kind
I have
of
a
mood
quick
you're in.
one.
How do you make
Well,
glue?
you can ask things that are just, I don't
Oh.
know. I don't know the answer to.
Any questions pertaining to the material on this site?
I have a
Oh,
quick
okay.
one. Okay, never
Oops.
mind.
All right, so any questions?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I have a quick one. Really
Yes.
quick.
Yeah.
When you do your journaling,
Yep.
or if you still do, is it true that when you write when you do your journaling, you write it as if you're in where you want to be, like
Correct.
Like
from
it's
that,
already
from
happened,
that
yes.
narrative.
It's already happened.
You still do it, don't you?
Sometimes. Not as
From that
often as I
narrative.
did, but it's so good
So
technique.
you're just talking about what has already happened and how you're enjoying it or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah, you make up stories about it. You just sort of talk about it as though it's already part of your life. Yeah.
Were you doing it like every day, once a day?
Yeah. Before bed.
Okay.
That's the way to make these techniques go the furthest.
And
Just to do
then
them
when you
before bed.
when you had another, were they all next level goals or
Oh, God, yeah.
major goals?
Yeah.
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 You wouldn't journal for a current level goal.
Right.
No.
There'd be no need to.
Right. Yep.
Remember, they're a week or less. Something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, he used to do it all the time, and it worked so well.
Yep.
So journaling.
Journaling works
Same
great.
story over and over.
I'm sorry?
Is that the same story over and over?
Yeah, that's
No,
what I was thinking.
I try to make it like, okay, if this had really happened, let's say you get your goal, you got your goal yesterday. Would you really go into your journal and write the same story every day?
No,
Or
that's
like
what
pretend
I don't understand about the.
like pretend you're just living your life with this goal and you're just telling about all the stuff, all the experiences you're having now that you have it. You're not always going to use the same story because you're going to have different experiences. So you're just going to kind of talk about different details, different things that happen, things like that. Like,
And you're doing it like first person, like I did this and this.
Mhm.
well, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I had money goals, this is what I used them for the most, the journaling method for the most. And
Can you give me an example?
just money goals. And I would, what am I doing with this money? I would talk about, now that I have this much money, I can do this. We're doing this all the time. And yesterday we went out and did this.
Yeah,
And
that's what I wanted to hear.
different stories,
It's like you're sort of writing a fictional
right.
story
Yeah.
about yourself.
Like yourself
with your goal.
with the goal. Yep.
And you
So
do it
that's-
every night until you get it?
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, yes, I never did. I was not very good at it, but theoretically, yes.
But
And
if
you
it's a
do
next
it off
level
feel,
goal,
too.
that could take a while, right?
I always got mine within a month. What, Justin?
Well, you're not everybody.
Remember, 1 to 3 months.
1 to 3 months.
1 to 3 months is roughly your next level goal, unless there's,
Yep.
but you're going to do it off feel. So, I mean, you're going to try to do it every night, but if
Right.
your energy's not right, don't try to
Right,
do it
exactly.
every
Or
night.
sometimes you're just
Right.
lazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I would suggest trying to be disciplined. I'm just not very good with discipline. Shut up, Christine.
No comment.
I've never been good with discipline, with like schedule, like, I have to do this every day. I've never been good with that.
He always
so-
just does stuff whenever he wants. Where he's like the wind.
Yeah, I like the wind. Thanks. It's my element. I'm the wind.
Sorry.
But yeah, I just sort of do it whenever. But I mean, theoretically, yes, I would do it every day,
Every night.
every night, yeah,
Okay.
before bed, within half an hour to an hour before bed, preferably.
So you can sleep on it.
So
Well,
your subconscious will take that and make the necessary changes. PK, I thought I heard you a few minutes ago trying to say something. Were you trying to say something else?
Actually, it was something that I was going to ask Justin, but it's gone now.
Oops. Well, let's not
Oh,
get
you're
it back.
going to ask me something about magic or something?
It was something that you said way back. Oh, I know. When
Good, it's back.
you were talking in the beginning about doing your magic, and you wanted something, and you didn't think that it had clicked, and you'd
Yeah.
already done it, and you were wondering whether to do it again or not. And
Mhm.
and it was like you got. My understanding was that you kind of got the intuition that it was done, but you did it anyway. Did I?
Yeah, I could have not done it again and still been successful because I had so much force. But it was like it wasn't quite in as focused because I was trying to not. I was doing my best not to just do damage to other people by by like actually, because if you so that's why it felt like, imagine widening your area out, but all you've got is space. And then I was talking to somebody and they had the same intuition because they were giving me a reading. They were like, you could do it. You should just do it again. I said, you know what? I wanted to do it again anyways, just because I like doing it.
Sure.
So let's do it. And that time though, when I went into meditation, Raphael, he's protector of the blind and things like that. Said, no, I got you this time. Call on me and Jehovah's Timbrook, leader of the NFB, who formed the NFB. And it worked. And just
awesome. Basically
what I did was made sure I sealed it in it and sped it up.
Right.
And then, so that's, you just didn't, it seemed like it got there, but it didn't get there like I wanted it to. Like, so I did it again to drive the point home. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I'm just getting a bit tripped up at the moment about whether to trust an intuition or not. And, like if I felt that it was done, I would be scared that I was messing it up by doing it again.
Well, you got to let it work, but you got to, that's where readings come in. That's why you want to give yourself or have someone give you a reading. And you just kind of get that feeling that it may not have worked. So you just kind of get the feeling as to how well it worked. So if it's, the thing is, when I did it, I was a little bit, I just kind of made sure that, because I did something called a blockbuster. That's what I used. And I had Archangel Michael help with it. And it worked. It's just that when it did its thing, there wasn't exactly anything for it to bust. So it needed to be more focused because it was stuff to widen out, but it needed to be absolutely more focused.
Right. What I would do, PK, is make sure, it depends if you're talking about law of attraction techniques or ritual, specific magical ritual. If you're doing a ritual, an all-out ritual, I would not repeat it within a week or two. You want to give it at least a week to work.
3 weeks is sort of advised, and then you want to kind of do
depends how you feel. Yeah,
meditation, reading, stuff like that. To figure out whether.
I would. You'll feel when it sort of settles down. You'll feel that everything's sort of still in flux. Like I can tell, like the ritual I just did the other day is still, even though I got everything, it's still kind of working to, maybe bring even more of that or whatever. But you'll feel when it sort of dies down, the energy will start to slow down a bit, and you feel like, maybe I need to do something else for this or something, So wait a few weeks, and if you haven't gotten that yet and you're sort of feeling doubtful, then try something. You just don't want to obsess. It's like what we say with the law of attraction with don't think about it don't think about it all day long because you're not letting the energy go out and actually work. See, here's the thing. Remember how I said energy, like the law of attraction is sort of like a little canoe, and magical ritual, which we call greater black magic in the tradition I'm coming from, is like a big ship, right? So with with the law of attraction techniques, which are a lot smaller energy, you want to do them at least once or twice a day because the energy is a lot smaller. So you need to hit it repeatedly to really get the same or at least similar results. With a ritual, it's like firing a cannon, like versus like a pistol or something. The law of attraction is like a pistol. Ritual's like a big cannon that, let the smoke clear, and then you can see if you need to do it again.
Because what it is, there's going to be a longer gap between
exactly
when you do a ritual. Because a lot of times after it's done or the candles go out or whatever you're doing, you're not going to mess with it at all. You're not going to do any law of attraction with it because you want to let the energy work. I mean,
you want to let it work. Don't even focus on it for a while.
If resistance comes up, then go ahead and release it. But like you don't really want to mess with it because you put so much. Say you do 6 or 7 days of law of attraction, you put out a ritual. It equals that. It's if not
more.
So or more. So you're kind of like you got to let it settle. Because then later, when I was feeling it, a couple of weeks later, it was like settled in place. You could feel like a solid bar.
Yeah,
that's where I got my energy bridges there,
and
Brandon.
Oh, really?
Remember I talked to you about that?
Yeah, that's the thing about magic is that I'm sorry, I know we're over time. We'll cut you off in a second. That's the thing about magic is that and law of attraction. When I say magic, I'm being all inclusive.
It's both.
That's the thing about magic is that you really have to be a good energy user in order to really master it, because you got to feel what the energy's doing. You got to feel like, okay, this goal needs a bit more energy, or I'm going too fast, so I got to slow it down, or I need another ritual, or I need another journaling session, or another visualization session, or whatever. You need to feel that. That's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest general skills you need to develop in magic is feeling energy. Because if you don't have that, you don't know. You're just sort of going blind. It's like, okay, you can have a pistol or a cannon, but if you can't see what you're firing at, then you're just sort of guessing, and you can't do that.
And you're, one of the best ways to feel it is not to feel it for a while and then feel it.
Right.
So that you're not, because what happens is when you mess with your own energy, sometimes you become desensitized. You get used to it. So you got to be careful, and you got to really examine it. So I have techniques for breaking my own energy, separating myself from it, and feeling it like it's new. I've got a method for that.
Yeah.
That I use.
Yeah. So, so you definitely want to gauge that. But yeah, if you're doing ritual, wait a few weeks. Wait till the energy feels like it's settled down and sort of, all the dust is settled. If you're doing law of attraction, you want to do it twice a day or so. Again, theoretically, I'm not always great with that. I've had goals where I'll focus on it one day and then 2 days later and then the next day and then 2 days later, and then I'll drop it for a while and be like, oh, I had the goal again. Okay, let me focus on it again. And then it'll still come, but if you have a lot of resistance, you want consistent focus.
That's why we say every day.
Right, that's why we say every day.
Because we do that because basically the average user wants to do it every day.
Right, you're going to need it. But ritual, you're going to be good for a few weeks. And you can reevaluate and do it again if you need to. But it's sort of, again, you need to feel the energy, and then you can go from there.
And
does that answer? Yeah. Go ahead.
The only thing I'll say is when I'm doing a 4 or 5 day candle, I may go to that candle while it's going and pump that energy every day a little bit and put oils on it and stuff like that. But then when it's done, it's done.
It's done.
Then it's done.
Yeah. So does that answer your question?
Like the idea that that you get this feeling it's done.
Yeah.
I don't get that with law of attraction. I don't get.
Yeah, it's not as big.
Yeah.
Right.
But it feels like with magic that you would have this absolute,
Yes. Usually,
yeah.
It's like throwing a fishing line out there and having the fish bite it.
Right. With law of attraction, you do get it eventually, but it's more subtle, and you get it once most of the resistance is gone. With ritual, you'll get it usually right away, if you've really done a successful ritual. So yeah, you're right. It is very different in that way. You'll get that acknowledgement.
You get that acknowledgement.
Right.
And then,
right.
And like I say, between then and 3 weeks, and if you don't see within 3 weeks, you want to do something to figure out what you need to do.
Yep. And like I said in the podcast, this stuff is real. If anyone ever says, just as long as you're feeling the feelings and that's all that matters. No, that's stupid. I would use stronger language. I don't do that. So, but that's just stupid.
What are you talking about? Hello?
Hello.
I think Brandon's gone.
No, he's just saying if somebody is telling you all you need is the feeling, like some of the other law of attraction teachers out there do.
I misunderstood.
That's not accurate. Like, I mean, that's not how, I would never tell somebody that that's not how we do it. That's not how Brandon does it. That's not ever how I've done it. I didn't even know about that.
That's just about feeling the feeling?
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. I just thought you were supposed to feel the feeling, but you got to work with the energy. I didn't even know about that other stuff because I never.
Hey, sorry, I'm back. I
never did that.
Oh, there you are.
I always did it I always did the Wayne Dyer method, or I always did straight magic. So I never did. Oh, just feel the feeling. Like I didn't even know about a rocket ship or whatever it was they were talking about. I had no idea that existed. I always got my results with just power and will, stuff like that. So
before I came to Brandon, I was just with Abraham, and that wasn't really very
because you were
helpful.
talking.
What was
it?
Anyway. What wasn't? What wasn't
Abraham.
helpful? Oh,
Abraham
I know.
Wasn't
what
very
I was
helpful.
What I was saying when I got disconnected was, like I said in the podcast, you want if you aren't seeing results within a certain amount of time, then like most law of attraction teachers will say, well, as long as you're feeling the emotions, that's all that matters. That's not true.
That's stupid.
And what you want to do is reevaluate, like using the firing analogy, reevaluate, re-aim, and fire again, and just see what you've been doing wrong and just do it again. Because you should be getting results. If you're not getting results, something's going on.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, I mean, come on. It's like what other science or any practice out there can you be like, oh, I'm not getting results? Well, I had a good intention, so it's okay.
No.
Oh, well, I'm an engineer, and well, my building fell over. Well, I meant to do it right, so it's okay. No.
No, it's not. The building fell over. It's in the street now.
My sister would love
that shit really annoys.
The bridge caved in. Oh well,
One thing that Abraham would say, would talk that I agreed with is split energy.
Split energy, yeah.
Because I get a lot of that. I get really good energy and really bad energy at the same time.
Well, that's your resistance. That's okay, and you just kind of wait it out. You just sort of release the resistance and move deeper into the good energy, the positive energy. And that's, but yeah, so you should be getting. It's not just emotional. I don't know why people say that sometimes. It's they really a lot. I mean, they all say that. Yeah. I know. I don't know why. It's like, okay, well, that's just lying to yourself. I mean,
they're like, your subconscious only responds to emotion, not your thoughts. And I started to believe it because that was before I was,
your thoughts
here.
drive emotions.
And so I was believing all that.
Yep. So yeah, you definitely, if you're not seeing results, something's wrong. Reevaluate, try again.
The subconscious doesn't care about emotions.
It does.
It does. It doesn't care about the situation and the context.
Right.
Your thoughts drive.
In other words, what your emotions are about. It doesn't care.
Your thoughts drive your emotions, and your subconscious.
Oh yeah, the emotions are the biggest way. That's why you do ritual. Ritual like really builds up those emotions, and really impacts the subconscious. The emotions are kind of the language of the subconscious, but what some people will say is, well, as long as you're feeling good, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter if you actually get your goal. Well, it kind of does.
It does.
So in other words, the emotions have to be connected with something solid.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, I'm just really happy.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Just generally feeling good isn't going to bring your goal. I mean, many people have tried that and it doesn't work.
It has to be that your thoughts are going to drive the emotions, and you're changing your subconscious with taking your thoughts and aligning them and then dealing with the resistance. That's how you're changing your subconscious.
I want to go back and read the blog about, I read it a long time ago.
Did I explain that right for you, Brandon?
What's that, Justin?
Did I explain that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
It's fine.
It's just, yeah.
I want to read subconscious structures again.
Will.
You should. Yeah, it's the will.
change the will.
The will changes it.
Yeah.
Yep. The will is the key force of magic. PK, you were about to say something too, and then after that we'll end.
Oh dear. Short-term memory loss.
I didn't hear that she's going to
Yeah,
say.
she was starting to
Yeah,
say
I
something.
didn't hear her.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember.
I'm just psychic.
what.
That's all
You
right.
should
Well,
write it down.
you should-
Well, I just
Really?
get fascinated.
No, it helps.
That's all right. If you remember, just email me or comment or do something. So, all right. So thanks everyone for participating.
Thank you.
Once again, you have this week to sign up for the Art of Reality Creation. Let me know if you were in 1.0 and you'll get the 50% discount with the coupon. If not, it's $47. Sign up and it'll be an awesome class. I'll be teaching lots of new techniques. And again, and that'll be on the blog. You'll see links to it. So there's not really an easy link I can give to get you directly there, but just it'll be on the top of the blog. And if you want to check out, like I said, the Order of the Black Flame, cocreationcoaching.org/OBF is the link to that. You can learn more about that. I did want to say, by the way, real quick with the order, I didn't mention this. I think we're going to do, right now we're thinking once monthly calls. They're not required, but they're just sort of to advance everyone's knowledge and help out. Just sort of like these support calls, but deeper with the magic stuff. So we're thinking of doing that probably once a month, possibly bi-weekly. We're probably
Are
once
you
a
still
month.
going to have these?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
I'm just really a little confused about one thing.
Yeah.
I'm registered in the class. Are you going to, how am I, on Monday, when Monday comes, what do I do? Do I just go on, where do I go? Do I go into Co-Creation Coaching
You click the link in
website,
the
or do I go to
email
my
that comes.
email? What?
It'll go. Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
Click the when your email comes, click the link and you're there.
Oh, it's email. Okay, that's all I
Yes.
needed to know. Okay.
Right.
It's emailed, then you listen to it. It's
Right.
audio.
I
so-
got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right. So thanks everyone for coming today, and everyone else later on who's going to listen to the recording. Thank you, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful week.
Have a good week,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.